Everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, we're going to take a look at the new 6-inch Batman the Animated Series Robin figure from DC Collectibles. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style of packaging we've seen with all the other figures in this line. You've got the card back with the Batman logo from the Batman the Animated Series. You've got the figure clearly displayed along with the accessories that it comes with, and then you've got the name of the Batman the Animated Series down below. Off to the side, it's got the name of the character, and it tells us that this is figure number 6 in the series. And then further on the side, it tells us that the figure was sculpted by Irene Matar. Then on the back, we just again have that Batman the Animated Series logo and really nothing else, some legalese writing. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging along with all the accessories that come with the figure. Now this figure, the accessories for this figure is based on the Batman the Animated Series episode called Robin's Reckoning Part 1. And basically it's kind of an origin story for how Dick Grayson, this is the Dick Grayson version of Robin, and how he came to be in the care of Bruce Wayne and how his parents were killed and everything. And so basically they end up going after a gangster called Tony Zuko. And so all these accessories are basically based on that Part 1 episode. So we get the basic figure, obviously, and then we get, and very similar to like the Batman figure in the first wave, we get 2 capes. So one is kind of like a freestanding cape, and then the other one is more of like a little bit kind of like it's blowing in the wind a little bit. And not a whole lot of difference between the 2 capes, but a little bit of difference with the sculpting. And the capes are that kind of vinyl material like we see with all the DC collectible capes and everything. And so then he also comes with this bolo rope. We see this basically Batman and Robin are taking on some arsonists who are trying to blow up this construction building, and Robin or they're trying to interrogate the one guy for information, and they end up kind of tossing him off the building, and then Robin shoots his bolo and catches the guy. So it's kind of cool. It's a rubber material, but it's very flexible. However, it is very short, so you can't really use it for anything. It's too short to really wrap around, like you see in the cartoons. So there's not a whole lot you can do with this. He also comes with his grapple gun, like you saw with Batman, and it's a lighter gray color as opposed to black. And he comes with one loose that you can put in the hand. Again, very similar to like we saw with Batman. And then he also comes with a hand that has the grapple gun already in it. Again, like we saw with the Batman figure in the Wave 1. Now at first I thought maybe there was holes in the front of the grapple gun and you could put the rope in, but there's not. So again, this is actually a very episode-specific accessory, but, like we've seen with some of these things, there's not a whole lot you can really do with this particular accessory. It's too short to really be able to swing or wrap around somebody or something along those lines. So it's not a whole lot you can really do with this. So besides the hand with the grapple gun, he also comes with a total of 3 pairs of hands. So he has 2 closed-fisted hands that come attached to the figure when you take it out of the packaging, and then he has a pair of hands that are open but closed enough to hold things like the grapple gun, and then he's got a pair of basically just open hands. And then finally, he comes with the same, he comes with a figure stand with a white base. It's got the images of Robin, the turnaround Robin. But this one is different than most of the base figure stands that we've been getting. It does not have the extendable arm. It's just got the little clamp. I think this is the same kind of base that we got with the Batman figure, if I remember correctly. So, again, Basically, it serves the purpose of keeping the figure standing, but that's about it. Don't expect to use it for like cool poses or anything like that. And so if you want to switch out the capes, basically you just have to pop the head off, and the head's on a ball joint, and then you can just lift the cape up and put the second cape on. And as you can see, the second cape, you know, the shoulders kind of push back like it was if it was blowing in the wind. And then you just pop the head back on. And then for the hands, if you want to change out the hands, just like we've seen with the other figures, you just pull it out. They've got little pegs, and you just switch it with whatever hand that you want, and they fit right in. So getting the loose grapple gun into the open hand can be a little tricky. The openings on the open hand are not super big. But you can do it with a little finagling. You can get it in there, and once you do, he does hold it pretty tightly. However, you know, to me, the loose grapple gun is a little redundant. I think it's better, it looks better, and is easier just to use the one that's already attached to that one hand. So my recommendation is just to use that one. But, you know, again, if you want to, you know, they did give you that second grapple gun. And then finally, like with all the other figures, he comes with the little checklist. Again, as I've said before, Joker, Robin, and Man-Bat came out this week. So we're up to figure 7. And then Poison Ivy, which is figure number 8, should be out soon. And then the next wave will be Killer Croc, Robin, the Tim Drake Robin, and then the Creeper and Harley Quinn. And then also we get that universal instruction sheet for the figures in this wave, so it shows you how the figure stand works, even though this isn't actually the figure stand that you get with Robin. But it pretty much works the same, it just doesn't have the extendable arm. And then it shows you how the features for each of the figures, Robin, Joker, Poison Ivy, and Man-Bat work in this accessory. And this thing comes with each of the figures in this assortment. Okay, so the overall figure I think looks pretty good. Again, I think they've done a pretty good job of capturing the overall look of how Robin appeared in the cartoon. Now they did kind of give him a goofy smile. So I don't really like the smile on this one. I mean, it's not horrible, but you know, it looks a little goofy to me. But otherwise, I think it's a good, solid looking figure. Not really a whole lot in the way of paint errors. A little bit of paint blemish here on like the button on his shirt. A little bit of the yellow is scraped off, so you can see some red, but and a little black splotch up here, but nothing major. The skin tones are pretty decent, pretty much the same kind of skin tones as we saw with the Batman figure in the first wave, so exact same kind of skin tone. He's got the black mask with the whited out eyes, and he's got the, as I said, the big goofy smile. I like the way the hair sculpted on this one. I think they did good with that, and it's all black. You know, like with all the figures in this series, there's not a whole lot in the way of like paint wash effects or anything like that. So you got the red on the shirt, the yellow on the buttons, and the yellow on the R on his chest with the black background. His yellow belt. Then the green tights, black boots, green gloves, and green on his sleeves as well. And then he's got the yellow on the underside of his cape, and then the back side of his cape is all black. So again, I think they did a good job with the overall look and captured the look and feel of the character from the cartoon. Okay, so this figure stands at about 5 1/4 inches tall. So he's definitely not as tall as like Batman. So the scale for the figure seems to be pretty good. Here he is next to the Batman from the first wave. And you can see Robin comes up to about Batman's shoulders. Okay, so articulation on this figure is nice. The head is on that ball joint that kind of rocks within the neck there. So he's got good movement up and down and left and right. You can kind of pivot to the sides. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints, so he can get his arm out pretty good, and he's got good rotation. He's got the swivel at the elbow, no bicep swivel, but he does have the swivel at the elbow, and then he's got a single hinged elbow, but he can bend his elbow pretty good. And then he's got a swivel at the glove cuff, and then he also has swivels at the wrists. And the hands, all the hands have hinges, so he's got good up and down movement with the wrist. No ab crunch on this one, but he does have a swivel at the waist. Then the legs are attached with those hinges, so he can do the splits good. He can do his leg forward about that much, and he can get his leg back pretty good as well. No thigh swivel on this one. Single hinged knee, so he can bend his knee about that much. And then he does have, he has a swivel at the boot cuff, and then he also has ankle pivot. So good movement at the ankles. And then there's no peg holes on the bottom of the feet for this one. And again, like with the Joker figure, the pegs have been hidden on this figure, so you don't see any like peg marks like you did with the Batman figure. So they've done a good job with hiding that. And then the joint construction again seems to be very solid. You can see they didn't use the clear joints here. And you do have a little paint rubbing on the one joint underneath. Again, not a big deal because unless you're looking up his legs, you're not going to really notice that. But construction of the joints is definitely nice and solid, so I don't think you're going to have to worry about the figures breaking. I think DC Collectibles has done a good job with fixing that issue that was plaguing the first wave. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I think this is a pretty good looking figure. I don't like the goofy grin. It's not that Robin probably never had a goofy grin. I just don't like it immortalized in my figure. But other than that, you know, I think this is a good solid looking figure with good constructed joints, pretty decent articulation, and nice accessories. Now, with the bolo rope, I do wish they'd maybe made that a little bit longer or made it so it could attach to the grapple gun, because as is, it's, you know, it's kind of pointless. You can't really do anything with it. But other than that, I think the other accessories, the multiple hands, the grapple gun, the two capes, those are all cool accessories to have for this figure. And as I said, the joints seem to be well constructed, so I don't think you're going to have to worry about breakage with this figure. So this figure is hitting shelves now, so if you want to add it to your collection, you know, check your local comic or specialty shops or your favorite online e-tailer. And if you want, there's a gallery of images for this figure over on toynewseye.com. There's a link in the description below if you want to check that out. And as always, you know, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.